Good evening and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Tuesday evening. It is not a happy Tuesday evening if you are traveling I-20, specifically I-20 eastbound. You can see the traffic cams are spinning all around as you take a look at what's going on at, it appears, Stella Street, the eastbound lanes near the Stella Mill exit. In fact, as you look at the third camera there, the Thomas Road camera is spinning all over God's creation. But as you take a look at what's going on in the eastbound lanes, hello, Nephew Cooper on YouTube. This does not pertain to you because you can't drive. But eastbound lanes, it looks like right as you split there at the Stella Mill exit, there are emergency vehicles. It looks as though, and again, I don't want to over-speculate. Now I can see a little bit better that maybe they are diverting traffic off the interstate onto the Stella Mill exit ramp and then back onto the interstate farther down. That's what it appears to be the case. So I'm joining you a smidge early on our evening or afternoon stream just because this was a big headline. So as folks get ready to head home from work, I know not everybody's working right now. It's that weird time between Christmas and New Year's Day, so a lot of folks are working a really weird schedule. But if you are out and about on the roads, you want to avoid I-20 really in both directions, specifically in the Stella Mill area, just because there's so much rubbernecking, so many folks are going to want to see what's going on. But specifically the eastbound lanes from West Monroe moving toward Monroe. Again, you can see 5th Street, the westbound lanes are starting to back up just simply because of congestion and folks, like I said, rubbernecking, wanting to see what's going on. So we'll come back to this in a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention to get started. An immediate travel issue there. Infrared satellite does not show much across the area this afternoon. Radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Again, don't forget to schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Nothing doing on the radar screen, should stay that way through most of the rest of the week. Cooler to the east, warmer to the west, low to mid 40s along the Mississippi Valley, upper 40s to near 50 degrees farther westward. But overall, not too bad of a day across the area. A little on the cool side, below normal for this time of year, but no bother there. Winds are starting to become calm. They will become more westerly and then eventually southwesterly as we head through the overnight hours tonight. Sets the stage for a little bit of a warming trend that will carry us through the last day of the year and into the first day of the new year. Take a look at Futurecast, made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Probably should have covered that, the buttons up. But you can see that, again, the southwesterly winds start to ramp up across the area as we go through the morning hours tomorrow. And that leads the warming trend, pushing us into the upper 50s and eventually into the low 60s for highs through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Cloud cover will eventually return, but it really doesn't happen until after we're done with New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. This is as the clock strikes midnight, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It'll be chilly. Good evening, Betty. Thanks so much for joining in. But it won't be necessarily frigid. You'll need the jacket if you have some outdoor plans for New Year's Eve night. The clouds start to gather as we go through the daytime hours on Thursday, perhaps ending the day under mostly cloudy skies. A lot of us will probably be back in the mid to upper 60s by then. We bring the potential for rainfall back in on Friday as a weak area of low pressure develops. It's kind of a developing upper level system, and at the surface, this area of low pressure just kind of wanders through the region, eventually swings a cold front through. Friday night, Saturday morning, could bring a few showers, especially along the Mississippi Valley, and a slight cool down for the weekend. Nothing dramatic. We go from the 70s for highs on Friday, back into the 60s for highs Saturday and Sunday. New Year's Eve forecast. Here's a look at the temperatures starting at 3 p.m. tomorrow into the late night hours and the early morning hours of New Year's Day. Again, it'll be chilly, but it won't be frigid. Why did I end this graphic at 2 a.m.? Just a hunch for some of you. Just a hunch. I was young once. Not anymore. I'll be celebrating with the East Coasters. I may be celebrating with the folks across the pond, trying to go to bed at like 7 p.m. or something like that. Launching this platform has turned me into, I was a night owl for 20 years. I go to bed as early as possible now. And I don't regret that at all. Again, so carry the jacket if you're going to be out and about for your late night plans New Year's Eve. As we go through the next couple of days, I showed this to you midday, and I really want to kind of jump into something not overly dramatic, but just looking at the upper level pattern and some of the bigger changes that could be in store as we go into the early parts of January. Not necessarily also to dispel fact from fiction, because you're going to see a lot about the 12Z run of the GFS, which is the model that I'm about to show you. And if I were to show you what was happening at the surface, you would see just ridiculous amounts of snow and ice and all kinds of craziness headed to the central and southern United States the second week in January. But I want to dispel, again, fact from fiction. So let's jump into things. Here's the latest computer model run. Again, as we get into the day Thursday, weak ridge of high pressure doesn't really allow for a lot of significant subtropical moisture return ahead of the deepening upper level system that I was mentioning, a weak area of low pressure, and this weak cold front, this weak trough that will be deepening somewhat as it moves over our area late Friday and early Saturday, swings a cold front through the region. Beyond that, the weekend and early next week looks dry. High pressure builds aloft. We're back again with an upper level pattern with the big hump in the jet stream. Not an overly pronounced ridge of high pressure, but again, keeping us dry, lots of sunshine. There will be some type of disturbance perhaps by the end parts of next week that could bring rain chances back into the area. If it were to be this big negatively tilted upper level disturbance that you see here, it would be a severe weather maker for much of the central United States. But again, we can't get into specifics right now. We're looking at trends. The trends look to be a lead disturbance, not a weak disturbance, but a lead disturbance late in the week that could bring rain chances for portions of the central United States, and then a larger storm system to move in after that. Now, again, if you were to take this at face value and you were to look at this one operational model run of the GFS, it is an apocalyptic snow and severe weather maker across the central and southern United States. It is a crazy thing to look at when you look at what the model is forecasting in terms of snow and ice. And I know you're thinking, Jared, just show us. No, because it's silly. But I am showing, and I know you're thinking, well, if none of this is going to happen, why are you showing us this? Well, it's kind of like dealing with fireworks. They're fun. It's fun to look at, as long as we understand the expectations and don't get crazy with them. So this is, again, a big menacing storm system by Tuesday at midnight. That is not next Tuesday. It is a week from Tuesday. It is 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. That's how far in the future we are talking. Y'all are probably thinking, Jared's lost his mind. The reason I show you this is because I want to show you the model run before that. This is the exact same time frame from the exact same model 6 hours before. And here's 6 hours before that. So again, operational model guidance, when you look at just one computer model run from one computer, which this one computer has not necessarily performed overly well for the last couple of weeks and months, it really only tells a extremely small fraction of the story. Are we probably going to see some type of pattern change for the middle parts of the month of January? It's looking increasingly possible. Will this bring winter weather? We don't know. Will it bring severe weather? We don't know. Will it bring heavy rainfall? We don't know. Will it bring Arctic air? We don't know. We don't know any of that. And anybody that says that they know that is lying to your face. Lying to your face. Because we're all looking at the same data. Some folks are willing to go out on more limbs than others and say some crazy stuff because they know that the broken clock is right twice a day, and if they get it right, then they can boast and pound their chest about how right they were. But then they want you to forget all the times that they were wrong when they said all that stuff. Like we were supposed to have a snowstorm on New Year's Eve. Overnight lows tonight will be near 30 degrees under clear skies. Winds will be light out of the west. Rain chances close to 0. Well, so we just don't know. Oh, first off, I missed some good evenings. Jan, Kay, Risha, Dee Dee, good evening. So we just don't know. We know a lot of stuff. Like I said, 3 to 5 days, we have a pretty good idea, most instances, of what's going to happen. Once you get outside 7 days, especially 10 days, again, you can look at trends, but you can't start talking about, okay, this storm system is going to move through on X day, and it's going to bring us this much rainfall, and it's going to bring this much snow to these areas. That's the stuff we just can't get into. And I think it's silly that we try to do that. Happy New Year to you as well. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, we don't ever really know anything for sure until it actually happens. That's what weather forecasting is all about. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Again, the warming trend carries us into the first few days of the new year. Mid to upper 60s for highs Thursday, mid 70s Friday. But again, that brings a cold front through the region that brings slightly cooler temperatures Saturday, Sunday. Highs in the low to mid 60s. Morning lows fall back into the 40s and 50s. And the rain chances could trickle back in middle parts of next week. But again, then you're starting to talk about some broader changes in the upper level pattern. We just don't know with a lot of certainty what we're going to be dealing with. And that is how the forecast shakes out on this Tuesday, December 30th. Look at some of the upcoming content later this evening. We will have a year in review, the rainiest days of 2025. Next live stream on Facebook and all of our other platforms will be tomorrow morning. I'll join you first thing, as we normally do. Fishing Game comes out later tonight at 8 p.m. And tomorrow, along with the morning live stream, we'll have your Too Long Didn't Read at 9:30 and more year-in review stuff. Tomorrow, we will look at coldest temperatures of the year as we wrap up this year. Happy New Year to you as well, Jane. And that is all I have for you on this Tuesday evening. But I will, however, go back to the I-20 traffic cams. Let's see how things are going. Not good. Again, eastbound lanes, I-20, Stella Mill, it's backed all the way up to Thomas Road now. The good news is it's not backed all the way up to Well Road yet. And things are starting to move kind of slow in the westbound lanes as well, just in and around this general area. So, again, if you can avoid I-20, I would highly suggest you do so. Kay, thank you so much. Dee Dee, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the new format as well. And again, I think honesty is always the best policy when it comes to weather forecasting. I put my name and my face out here on weather forecasts for a very real reason, so that you know who you can go back to and go, hey, that guy said this. And you can say, hey, you were wrong, or you were right, or whatever. There is an increasing number of nameless, faceless social media platforms that will throw out some outlandish stuff, but they never really actually give you a forecast. They give you a lot of model data, and they say, hey, this isn't a forecast. Take a look at all this crazy stuff, but they never really actually give you a forecast. Or when it really hits the fan and things get crazy, they're not providing live coverage. They're not letting you know about the warnings and all the specific stuff that's happening down it. Again, that's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is to locally serve our local community. And right now we're serving our local community by looking at the traffic backed up. Risha says she just got back from Nashville today. Traffic is terrible. Nashville traffic is something else. I've only dealt with it one time. Would rather not deal with it again. But again, just exercise caution. If you're seeing this live stream, you may want to send a text message to folks that are heading home. Hey, if you're getting ready to leave work, I-20 is a mess, especially for folks that work in West Monroe but live in Monroe, and they usually take the interstate. This is not ideal. So exercise caution out there. And, of course, it's the holidays, especially as we go into tomorrow evening. No drinking and driving. There's a lot of folks that work on New Year's Eve night. When I worked in broadcast, I used to say we have folks that work late at night, so they should all be able to get home. Hey, Miss Judy. Long time no hear, no see, whatever. Glad to hear from you. So again, exercise caution on the roadways and abroad. I just keep dragging this out because we're looking at the live stream of all the cameras. All right, Fishing game comes out later tonight. Too long didn't read first thing tomorrow morning, but I'll join you before then with a look at the live conditions across the area. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I'll probably tweak some of those overnight low numbers and some of the forecast numbers a little bit later tonight after we get the baby put down. Hopefully she does not wake up at 11:30 at night like she did last night for whatever reason. But we made it work. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Be cautious on the roadways, everybody.